What it do? What it do? What up, though? It's your boy Bandit. Y'all know what it is. It's Detroit. What up, though? Episode 36. Where we're here to talk about Lions, Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings. Y'all know what we do when we start every show. I let you know we're in the building. It's just me and one other person today. Paul.
How's it going? How's it going, Bandit? What up, dope?
What up, though?
Dope?
I can't complain. I can't complain. How your day going?
Yeah, it's been kind of tiring. Today was kind of like I did a briefing and I'm military, so I did a briefing to some officers today, and I'm very high end, like I'm very high energy. The problem is getting old. After you do a briefing like that for like 2 hours, and you're just talking and talking and talking and just answering questions and just going crazy. You like it's like you're off that high and you just completely collapse when you're as you get older. So you lose all that energy. And I'm just so exhausted from doing that. Just that one brief was killing me. So yeah, I'm a little tired right now. I don't even have any alcohol, and I usually have alcohol on freaking Fridays.
Yeah,
I'm just doing water, man.
Friday ain't got no drink either. That's crazy. So sober Friday. So
Sober Friday, yes.
all right, let's start off with some dramatic news, man. We're gonna start about a little bit of Lions news. If I don't know if you've seen it or you heard it, but get off my quarterbacks back, man. You feel me? And when I say that is Ben Johnson.
Out of structure, the off schedule, the creation, that's what stands out the most, because that's really the way that this league's going right now, it seems like. As much as you want to make it pure progression, 1 to 2 to 3, there's just too much variety. The pass rush is coming down, and to have an athlete like Caleb extend the play and potentially find an explosive down the field, that's what gets me going a little bit. I get excited thinking about that. Because I haven't really been around that since I've been in the league, but I've been on the other side and I've experienced it. And it's demoralizing when you're on the other side and you're watching.
He never experienced that before, man. So he shots at Jared Goff, talking about he dropped golf ain't mobile and everything. How you feel about that, Ben Johnson, man?
Well, I mean, okay. Most people in our group chat and most people that we talk to, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. That's exactly what most of us are going to say. He is on the other flip of the coin. At the end of the day, yeah, F Ben Johnson, man. Like that's just, I mean, that's the way it is. However, what do you expect a new head coach to say about their quarterback? You're not going to go in there and say, well, like he could have done better, and he's not as accurate as Jared Goff, and be like, no, you're going to prop him up. You just got a job. You got to motivate the people on your team.
Woosah.
Yeah, you got to woosah it, but that's just management. If I just got a job, I'm going to say the same thing, man, because I need a buy-in. I need a buy-in from my players. I want to know that we're because it doesn't often happen where a coach goes to a rival team or a team in the same conference. So it doesn't happen very often. So, it's just coach speak. I mean, I'm sure he's just fine with Jared Goff. I mean, he's probably going to realize that Jared Goff was a better precision passer than Caleb Williams could probably ever be. But you never know. We got to see he's coachable.
But because this is my only thing about it, he could have went about that a whole different way. He could have said anything else, but when he threw him on, when I'm going to get on the stream.
I mean, I know what you mean. Like he could have said all that.
He could have took the high horse.
He could have said all that and then never said, "I've never been around that." He could have just said, "I want a player. Yeah, I like the quarter. I like Caleb Williams because he can go off schedule. He can run. He's mobile," and then just ended it there. He didn't have to go a step further. That's probably what you would have appreciated that. But when he said, "Well, I've never been around that," well, okay, that's a shot. Has a shot somewhere.
Yeah, because they asked Dan Campbell about the whole situation about playing a coach that he was in his coaching regime, and he took the high horse. He said, "Hey, I got nothing but love for you, man. I'm not gonna get into that stuff like that." You feel me? So he played the whole politics thing, bro. And I don't get it, man. That's why I told y'all I was cool the way that our defensive coordinator left, man. But I don't like Billy Johnson. The whole disrespect with him going to inside our division, man, it hurts a back nerve for me.
I mean, he gonna be him though. I mean, he's trying to poke the bear to see what happens. Is what's gonna happen. I mean, it's kind of like I bet you any money that Ben Johnson was like like when he said, "Hey, I'm going to take a job in Chicago." Him and Ben John or him and Dan Campbell were probably poking fun at each other. I bet you, hey, we'll see each other 2 times a year, and stuff like that. And they probably were back and forth. I think that's the way their coaching style is going to be. Just poking fun at each other. It's not like you're going to be a rival coach to the point where you're like really like, oh, Dan Campbell's an idiot. No, I don't think it's going to be like that. It's going to be like, I'm going to try to one up you. Just be careful,
I think he just added more fuel to the fire. So when we do play the Bears, we have a reason to whoop his ass for real.
Yep, that's exactly what Dan Campbell's going to use. Just remember this. Just remember this when we play that team, All
right, let's get into a little bit of hockey news, man. Our Red Wings played last night and lost 5-2. What happened, Chris?
Oh, a lot to unpack here. Yeah, a lot to unpack. I have never seen Dylan Larkin play such a poor game in a while, if at all. There was one play where he was at the side of the net, and he could have just shot it on net. Like, he was literally 2 feet away from the goal.
He wasn't even looking to shoot. Like, he was just looking to pass.
He tried to pass it across the crease. And I was like, dude, you could have easily scored or had a really good opportunity. He passed it up. And Todd McClellan did say, like, he on X, he did say in a conversation that I'm going to have a conversation with Dylan Larkin. I will tell him what he needs to do. He just very poor game. You get a little people on Twitter that are like, see, this is why we should have never paid him all that money. And like, I mean, now the money isn't anything. It's kind of like in football when you pay a quarterback that first year, that big money, they're everybody's like, oh, this sucks. And then like 4 years down the line, he's not even in the top 10 of quarterbacks getting paid. And now you're like, yeah, he's pretty much a bargain. Like, that's how Dylan Larkin is now. His pay is not as bad as it was when he first got it. And Dylan Larkin, I mean, he's a really good player. Don't know if he's a first-line center, but he is definitely, he is a good center in this league. Whether it be a second-line center or not, I'm not sure. But, yeah, that was just a bad game altogether. Poor defense, constantly poor defense. And I've been talking about this for at least a month, that we need a veteran D lineman to couple with ours to solidify at least one line to being really good, because that was just a terrible.
You know what else I seen during the game? We was having we was mishandling the puck, man. We had a lot of opportunities. If a player would just, it was wide open. I don't know. It was just bad yesterday, man. It was hard to watch.
It was terrible. It was a terrible. I mean, it was terrible on offense, terrible on defense. There was nothing. It was just a culmination of just a bad night for the entire team. I mean, I'm going to keep preaching it. I'm tired of hearing people talk about like getting another center. We need defense. Our defense is horrible. I mean, when they're good, they give up a few goals. When they're bad, they give up a ton of goals. So, I mean, this is not a defense that's going to win very many games in the playoffs. It's just not structured for that. We have to win on offense. We got to win close games, and we got to win games in like overtimes and shootouts. AK, the reason why we don't have a lot of games won in regulation. We only have 22, of our 33 or 34 wins, which is not good because you got a few teams. You've got the Rangers that have less points than us. They've got 27 wins in regulation. That's crazy because you can get it done. They don't have to take it to overtime. Your veteran teams tend to win in overtime. So we still have some veteran caliber players. So that's why we can win in overtime. I don't think we have a loss in overtime this year, but yeah, at this point, I mean, I still seeing us make the playoffs. We ain't going to go very far because our defense is not really good.
What up, B. Strilla?
Hey,
What
man.
up, man? What up,
You want to let everybody know where they can find you at?
What's that?
I say let everybody know who you are, where they can find you at.
Oh, yeah. Let me put it down here. Fix my stuff here. But yeah, I'm not that game against to add on to that game with Red Wings and Columbus. I think that they had lost some of their. I think that game was a catechism of the fact that they just mentally took a game off. Because that was a bad all-around game. I've never, even when they lose, they don't lose that bad. You know what I'm saying? They're not bad in any facet of the game, but that was just horrible. And I think they're going to get their due back when they play Columbus again this next game. And it should be good. It should be good. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I agree with you. They're going to have to be like the Lions. They're going to have to outscore everybody to win games because they got no defense right now.
Yeah.
So, and if they can do that, they'll be fine. But in the playoffs, it's a whole different monster for the NHL playoffs. That is.
Yeah, you gotta be really good on defense. I mean, you're at this point, you're, how can I say it? You're surviving games versus truly winning games. And that's a problem. And since and I think it's a little lull from the Four Nations because the last the 4 games that we played afterwards, like three of them have been like, we've either, like this one we got annihilated, we got obliterated this game. But 2 of the previous 3 ones, we had 2-goal leads with like 9 minutes left, or 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, we give up 2 goals to go into overtime. And yeah, we got a point, and then the other one we got to win. But you don't do against the Ducks. You absolutely do not do that. Like Wild, I can give you on that. Even 2 minutes, 2 goals in 9 minutes, you don't give up that many that quick. Even against good teams, when you're up to 2, you play defense. Like that's all you do. If you have to dump and keep dumping it, I mean, you got to do that. You just have to. But yeah, this defense is just a wreck. I mean, they're going to need a reset. They will play good in the Stadium Series tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The Columbus Blue Jackets just got back their captain, so it's going to be more. They're going to have to like really take it up a notch against the Blue Jackets. And even though we've played a ton of good teams already, we still have the hardest schedule the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. And we was up this game too, Chris. They scored 4 goals in the second period. Like,
yeah, they did. We also not only that, but the only easy game we have the rest of the way is the Utah Hockey Club. That's it. Everything else is not a guaranteed win. And I think that's going to be a trap game because we play Carolina at home the game before, and the game after that is the Capitals in Washington, and I think it's a trap game. Utah could beat us. We're going to take them lightly, and I think we may lose to them. Thinking about the Capitals, so that's a trap game. But yeah, every game is so important right now.
I got a question for y'all since y'all both here. A little trivia. Here's my question. And this was at the Red Wings game yesterday. I seen a photo and I thought it was I thought it was not funny, but I'm gonna ask y'all though. How many consecutive days has it been since the Buckeyes last defeated the Michigan Wolverines football team? A, 500. B,
I'd have to go with
707.
D.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Y'all both wrong. Now it's been 117 days counted today.
I think it meant 1917.
1917.
I think it meant the year 1917.
So what are you looking forward to this upcoming game against the Capitals, Chris?
Capitals.
I mean, my bad.
Columbus.
You don't even know where you're at, man. We're gonna be God. Why do you have to show a picture of that place?
Boo.
Ooh.
You see the little Buckeyes on the side? That looks beautiful. But now, what you looking forward to this game, Chris?
Watching it on TV. I don't know. I like the Stadium Series because they always have unique jerseys and stuff like that. Me and you just bought one. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes from DH Gate, see how well it works. But I like the different jerseys. I mean, it was cool when we did it quite a few years ago when there was snow. It was snowing at the same time they had the hockey game. So that was really cool. Like that is like a photo moment, like those kind of things when it's snowing and they're playing outside. So I don't think this is going to happen at this one, but it's just different. They're playing. Being outside is a little different. The air's different. The way you play, the sound is different. It's just different altogether. Plus, you're playing in front of like 60,000 fans. It's a 60,000 seat stadium. Mm-hmm. And if they do sell all 60,000, it'll be the second largest game in the history of the Stadium Series. You know where the biggest.
We know where it was. Yeah.
I'm not even a Michigan fan, but I know where it took place.
He knows where it took place too.
Whatever.
Well, hey, as long as the Red Wings scored 3 goals, they're winning that game.
Yeah.
I feel they scored 3 goals, they're winning the game.
Yeah.
So.
All right, NFL Combine is going on. You know, everybody. You got Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are interviewing players, and these are the players they brought in. You want to see the kid on there that you like to see? Got Mike Green from Marshall, Campbell from Alabama, Sawyer from Ohio State. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Scruton
from
Squirton or something.
From Texas A&M.
Scourton. Okay.
Yeah. Stewart from is that Michigan?
U of M.
U of M. Paul from Ole Miss. Cross from Notre Dame. Jones from LSU. Paul Jr. from Ole Miss. And Mick Lloyd from Auburn. Anybody on that list you would like to see the Lions pick up?
They're going after Jack Sawyer. I'm pretty sure they're trying to get after Jack Sawyer.
I wanted him at first, Jack Sawyer. I did want him at first. A couple of the guys in the group chat kind of talked me off of it a little bit, but I still wouldn't mind getting him. Jaheed Campbell has already had a really good combine.
I hear they're also looking at Denzel Burke too for corner. From Ohio State.
There was another guy that I saw. He's slated for the 6th or 7th round, but his combine has been crazy. Great. I mean, it's a great underwear Olympics. So whatever you want to hold that.
I don't put much of my money on the combines. That's only for people that are going to be in smaller schools to show out. That's it.
Yeah. Plus, if you're like neck and neck with a guy, that could make or break like who you decide, because you're like, okay, well, this guy seemed to be athletic, but he didn't show it at the combine, and I mean, that's your best place you can show. And if
let's
you
be real.
there, then
some performances at the combine got some players that ain't good at all paid.
Yeah, it has.
And on top of that, you got to look at it like this. It's kind of like having practice and playing a real game. When you're in a combine, some people ain't good at tests. Some people are good at just doing their homework and getting aces on everything, but just not doing a good job on tests. That's what I feel the combine is. Is people, they come in there. You got people that'll ace the combine, but they really ain't that good of a regular play, you know. So it just, combines don't mean nothing to me, to tell you the truth. It's all flash and dash to me. They got no pads on. They're not playing against competition. That's what you watch tapes for. The only thing that gathers to me the moss on the stone is the lower ranking players that come from small schools that don't get that chance to showcase their skills, because really nobody watches those kind of games unless you're in that region anyway.
Yeah.
So they get to showcase their skills in the combine. But anybody that's in the top, the first 3 rounds, to me, it's really not anything they should be partaking. They should do that for like 4th to 7th round picks. They should be for.
I'll tell you, the guy that I was talking about is he spells Teddy weird, but it's Teddy Buchanan. He is his combine has been pretty impressive in terms of his explosiveness, his speed, and stuff like that. The difference is like I've looked. So I use Draft Buzz, like that's my kind of my go-to for, because they really give a lot of detailed information, strengths, weaknesses, what the combine numbers is, how over the course of all the combines and drafts, like where the player ranks on weight, hand size, like where are they at in the percentile, like is good or bad, you know? So it gives you kind of a bar graph, a color bar graph. It gives you something really good to look at. I mean, nobody has a perfect drafting system, but I really like it. And the hardest part that kind of is why he's way down there is one is he is very small. He only weighs about 233 pounds. Like he's right around there. So he's really small. He's about 29 percentile for a linebacker. 2, he does not have much lateral movement. His lateral movement is one of his weaknesses, in which obviously Brad Holmes values lateral quickness. So that's probably what's taken him in. He hasn't had a chance to play top tier talent. When he didn't perform well. So I mean, at the end of the day, he did well at the combine. He's probably moved from the 7th to maybe the bottom end of the 5th round. Like that's probably what he got out of the combine. But there are certain. Is there any parts of the combine that you like though?
Well, being that I was a former cornerback, I like watching the cornerback drills that they do. I mean, because those are actually just drills, and that's footwork. You can actually see footwork being done in those drills. That has nothing to do with gameplay. I mean, you know, it does have something to do with gameplay, but you want to see it that corner can get his hips swiveled, pick his feet up, you know, learn how to turn around, back pedal, that kind of stuff right there. It shows you a lot. And that's something that if you're a cornerback and you're taught that position well, that it'll show in the combine with that particular drill. That's those things I just look at. I'm not really big at looking at anything else in the combine. Like I said, it's, you know.
I would agree with that. I can agree with that. My favorite one is the gauntlet for the receivers, because it's just not like the 40-yard dash where it's straight line distance. It's also not the one where they catch it here, then they catch it here. Like they're not.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
The gauntlet is you have to run laterally and catch the ball, drop it, catch the ball, and then catch the ball, make a turn. Like you actually have to do what would be considered some
run routes
in football. Routes. And if you, like last year, Keon Clark from Michigan State didn't do very well in the 40, but he was one of the best at the gauntlet, which I think moved him up into the first. I don't know if he went top of the 2nd or bottom of the 1st, but he was a receiver I wanted for Detroit, but he didn't go there. So, but he did very well in the gauntlet, which I think is that's the best thing for the receiver. You do well in that, and I think you're good.
Yeah, it's just like route running. It's they make sure they can run a route, a button hook. Yeah, that's basically what it is. You could run those routes and catch the ball, at the end of the route crisply, and then be able to run that route as crisply as possible as well. Then it's the same thing with the cornerback. It's the same opposite of the cornerback.
Exactly.
I just don't pay attention because I pay attention, but I don't pay attention to it because it's a receiver thing. So I don't after receivers, because I watch the cornerback stuff. But another thing too about this whole draft, I was talking earlier about this on another podcast. Brad Holmes is really one of those guys that you don't know who he's going to pick up. You might have some things that you might see like, oh yeah, he could do that, and us being fans looking outside, looking in, we say, well, we should pick this guy up because he did this and he should have that. Brad Holmes is probably one of the best scouts of talent that I have seen in a long time. That's a GM, and he could pick up some surprising things. You don't really learn about these players that they're really looking into when they draft until they draft them. You'll be like, and they'll look and you'll be like, oh yeah, I guess he is pretty good because he does this and he does that. So whatever Brad Holmes does is going to be probably the opposite of what everybody's going to try to pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I love watching Twitter and I love watching our group chats because it's the same thing every year. Nothing changes. There's always there. And one of our guys in there, his name's Lee. He
shout out Lee.
He made a comment today because somebody had just posted after a guy ran the 40 Hairston. Hairston ran the 40 and freaking
4.28.
Yeah, something crazy. And he goes, oh, he just made his way into the first round. And Lee goes, great. That's the 70th guy this week that just made it to the first round. And I was like, yeah, that's about par for the course at this time. Because nobody knows where anybody's going to go. Nobody, even after the pro days and the combine, nobody knows because all these guys have done their homework to a T. They know where, and everybody's playing a shuffle, like they're smoke screening it. I want my guy, but I don't want you to get my guy. So. And at the end of the day, the best you can probably do is pick what positions we're going to draft. That's about as best as you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. And hell, even some of that time, that's a crapshoot.
Yep.
Because we need this guy, and he pulls out some guy that we don't really need. You know what I'm saying?
Running back. Running back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, that's one of the projected guys that we're looking at too is Donovan Edwards from Michigan. So they're looking at everybody. That's what I'm saying. They're looking at everybody. And Joe, you're right, bro. He does not care about that 40 time. He could care less because it does not translate into game time, barely at all.
Yep.
Because you can have a guy like that the corner that ran the 4.28. That's good. Corners need to have speed, but they also need skill. You got to be in that position. Deion had a lot of skill. This is why I talk about Deion Sanders a lot. He had a lot of speed. He could catch up, but he had no skill. If you ever watch plays, he was far off.
You are the first person that I have heard to actually say that. Thank you, because I've been preaching that for like 15 years, and people are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He grade A #1 corner. I go, dude, his speed made up for his lack of. Charles Woodson was a way better.
Rod Woodson was really good at that.
Yeah,
he had speed, but he didn't have Deion Sanders speed. But he knew how to cover a receiver. He knew how to backpedal. He knew how to. He had the skills to shut down a receiver, and that's what I'm talking about. It's very rare for a lot of corners, and those come down. It does. Deion didn't do bad. I'm not saying Deion is a trash, overrated or anything like that. Deion used his speed. He knew what he had as attributes. He used them. And what's up, DaeDae?
What's up, man? I was just watching. Y'all was giving Brad Holmes a lot of props right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful because I saw the comments today, DaeDae.
Yeah, man. Look, Brad's got to nail this draft, bro. He's got to nail it.
He has to nail every draft. Everybody
Well,
says
he didn't
he's
last.
got to nail all these drafts.
He didn't last year. and he kind of missed on missed on one in the year before.
I mean, everybody's not going to be perfect.
So I
He's
hate
better
that
than all-
excuse. I hate that excuse because, like, I understand that. Like,
There's
100%
nobody that's
think-
who's picked
No, I'm
on,
not
on a
saying
draft
that.
all the
See,
way.
that's what everybody like automatically jumps to. It's well, everybody's gonna bat 1,000. I
Yeah,
get
you better
that.
you better make me roll up.
Well, then just listen. Every time I try to make this point, that's the first thing everybody always
You
jumps to.
can-
Nobody's
you can-
gonna bat 1,000.
You
I
can
understand that.
you
This is-
can criticize him just as much as you can praise him. I get you,
Yeah.
DaeDae. I absolutely do. When he makes a bad pick, you got to criticize him.
Gotta
But
say something.
a lot of people gloss over that. They
Yeah.
glaze him way too much.
Has he
Great,
hit
I
more
agree.
than he missed? Has he hit more than
That's
he
gotta-
not that.
I guess you got to
that's
be
the-
devil's advocate at some point with
That's
him.
not the
I
point.
mean-
Does he hit more than he misses? That's not
What
the
do you
point.
mean?
It's the fact is you can't just turn a blind eye to the shit that he's missed. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the shit, the moves that he's made that haven't always worked out. Brad's like not perfect, and I get that, but just to overlook it and be like, well, that's the reason why we overlook it. That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like
Yeah.
you got to be critical of your GM. Like look at the
Mhm.
Eagles. They were critical of Howie for a while. They sent Howie out to the woodshed. You know what I mean? So like it's okay to be critical of your GM, and I'm critical of Brad. I don't trust Brad Holmes as much as everybody else does. I don't.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah.
my title says I trust Brad Holmes,
Uh-huh.
but that doesn't mean I can't criticize him though.
Right.
Right. I mean,
can
I understand
criticize
that.
him. Broderick Martin is a good example.
Jack Campbell's kind of that way too.
whoa,
I think-
come on now.
Oh yeah, I'm starting like there's a guy, Mike K, and he points it out, and I'm kind of with him. Jack's not a bad player. He's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't have a problem with Jack, but at 17 or wherever he was taken, I need more out of him.
Yep.
I need more out of him.
Well, I mean, Jack can't help where he got picked at. That's the point. I
Right,
mean, Jahmyr
and I
Gibbs,
mean-
Jahmyr Gibbs don't
Didn't
fall
he
in your
lead the
lap like
team
that
in
all the time.
tackles?
Pretty much.
What'd you say, Bandit?
Didn't
Well, I
Jack
think
Campbell-
Like
I think
that's
Anzalone
not
did.
that's not what I mean. Like Mike K says, you need to I need splash impactful plays, like not like splash plays, but like impactful plays, like
Mhm.
you know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
what
Like
Game-changing plays.
yeah, game
You're
altering plays.
talking
Yeah.
like fourth and 3, and Jack Campbell comes up and plugs the hole to save the game. Like that's
Yeah.
you need more of that kind of stuff. I get what you mean. I mean,
Well, you got role players and you got people that get drafted for big things. I mean, everybody can't be a jacked up guy on the team. That's not going to work. There's going to be too much ego going on in that whole situation. And everybody's going to be trying to make a play, and they're going to be out of position trying to make a play, and they're gonna f- the whole damn situation up.
He's
So
a tackling machine.
there's some people got it. Some people are drafted for being role players. That's what they're drafted for.
Not at 17, man. Not at 17.
so me and Cross,
Like I said, he can't help where he got drafted at.
me and Cross had we started, we never got to the end of it. We tried to do a grading system based on like where people get picked, like do you get a plus or you get a minus depending on the round and so on and so forth. We tried this, we didn't get all the way through it. But like if you're a first round pick, it's an automatic hit or it's a minus, it's a miss. There is no, well, you know, he's a good backup player. That's a miss. It's a first round pick. You got to hit on it.
Jack's a plus.
Second round, we have we have a little bit of give and take on that. You can have a hit or a miss in there, and the point value changes as you get farther in the draft. Obviously, if you get a starter out of the third round, you're up there. Fourth round,
If you get all pro out of the 6th round.
What about it?
I mean, that would be like a +5 or something. Like I said, we didn't get to complete it. We started working on it because of people were like, well, you know, Brad hit on every first round pick. We're like, well, that's not a hit. You gotta hit. Like there's
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like,
but if you don't, it's a minus.
That's a
if
fourth
you
round.
do, you don't get nothing for it. You know, so that's what we're trying to work on. But everybody has their own philosophy on stuff. I mean, if you don't hit in the first round, can you at least get value out of the guy after that?
and he has.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: Day. I have my trust in Brad Holmes. I do. I'm gonna trust him until I can't trust him. That's how I look at it. I'm gonna trust him making the right decisions until I don't trust him. If he starts pulling out all this stupid drafting stuff, he's not a very good free agent guy.
Here's what. Go ahead. I'll let you land on, and I got a question for you. It's a scenario that was brought to me.
He's not a very good free agent guy. I can tell you that right now. I mean, he's Mosley. Dude's been a disappointment because he's been injured every damn time. And it's not because if he's playing, he hasn't been out there to play. But you want to keep keeping him. That's just a waste of time.
He was hurt when we got him.
Yeah, and then they just kept him for 2 years and paid him. I know it was minimum, but still, you're paying him for him to be taking up a roster spot, man. I like Mosley, but dude, you ain't doing nothing for our team. Get out. You got to go. Yeah. You got somebody else that could take that spot. But go ahead. What's your question there, Day?
All right. So you say you trust Brad Holmes, right? Yeah. Okay. The Lions met with Jalen Milroe today or yesterday, whatever day.
Oh, here we go.
Chris, can I tell first before I ask him this? Can I tell you how pissed off I was when we were having a conversation?
You were
so mad, bro.
You were flaming mad.
Oh my god,
so mad. I'm just, all right. God, I was laughing. I was crying.
What if Brad took Jalen Milroe in the second, bro? What are you doing? What are you thinking of it?
But that would be dumb in the first place. We don't need a quarterback.
Thank you. That's what I said. That's what I said.
But a lot of times too, you got to understand too. Talking to people do a lot of things. If people know that you're talking to certain people, that other franchises are competing. Okay. Yeah. So if they're out there saying, "Oh, well, they're talking to a quarterback. I wonder what's going on over there." Now you're making other franchise think of what you're doing. And if as long as you do that, you can talk to everybody. It doesn't make a difference. He might just talk to him just to be saying, I'm gonna go over here and talk to him and see what these mofos over here say. See what the other franchise do. And then all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh well, if they like Milroe, then maybe there's something to him. And them dummies might draft him. You know what I'm saying? It's a game of cat and mouse sometimes with these things too. You gotta look at it. You gotta play the game. But I get where you're coming from, though. If he did, talking to him is one thing. Draft him is a whole other thing. If he drafts him, I'm gonna be on your side.
That's what I said. I said there's gonna be a serious discussion to be had. And I'm not talking about Hendon Hooker at that point. I'm talking Brad. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Everybody kept saying, "Well, it's the future. It's the future." Man, we got too many holes right now.
We got too many futures going on. I don't understand.
I don't want to take on another project, bro. Come on.
Right. The future that we're supposed to have hasn't even really touched the field. So, I mean.
Nope. Brad, I don't think he's looking at quarter. I want all defense. And
I was just about to ask you, what position do you want? You want Brad Holmes to draft? And if it's one player you want, who would that be?
Well, the couple guys that I liked are like way off the board now because they've all got like issues and shit. They've all got like character concerns. Because I wanted Mike Green.
Yep.
And then I wanted what's the other guy's name? Nolan.
Well, Mike Green's one was allegedly, right? He still hasn't gotten anything.
He's got one that popped up. He's got one that popped up from high school. And while he was at Virginia, that's two. He's way off the board.
A lot of teams, I think that's the guy that a lot of teams have already just knocked him completely off their board.
No, that was Nolan, Walter Nolan.
Oh, was that Nolan? Okay,
yeah,
I wasn't sure which guy it was because I wanted Green as well, but they said they had character concerns, and then I defaulted to Jack Sawyer because that was my next guy.
Default.
I like Donovan Izaraku. I think that's how you say his last name.
What?
Donovan Ezaraku or something like that. I brought him up a few times. He's a 6'3", 247 guy out of Boston College. He had 16 and a half sacks last year, and he has both a high pass rush grade and a high run grade. He plays the run really well. He's undersized.
Boston College plays in the
ACC.
And you said he's a linebacker?
Linebacker. No, he's a pass rusher.
Pass rusher. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's an edge. Or
Yeah. I just don't like the conference he plays in. I don't think there's that much competition in that.
Ariku.
yeah.
Yeah. I heard of. Yeah, I heard of him. Yeah, Boston
He's-
College and ACC. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a little. Wow, he's really
That's
on the. You're right, DaeDae. He's really on the low end weight scale. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what do they have him listed on that website?
248.
Yeah, that's what he weighed in at the
Ooh.
He weighed at the combine 247, I believe.
They update this as the combine takes place. That's why I like Draft Buzz. They give a lot of details.
Yeah, but look, he's the same size as Nolan Smith was when
True.
Nolan Smith came out. You know, that's an athletic edge, and he's got speed. He plays the run well.
6'2",
We're
though.
not-
He's kind of short too.
I thought he was 6'3". He's 6'2"?
That's what this says. I mean,
Okay.
if the weight is exactly the combine, I'm going to assume that the height's the same.
Nolan was for Bama though, right?
No, hell no. Don't disrespect him like that. He was a dog.
He went to Georgia.
Man,
Oh. I know it was either Alabama or Georgia. I know it was one of those two big schools.
Yeah.
Georgia all the way.
But it was the SEC, so they're very competitive in the SEC. So I would see the reason why Nolan Smith went out. I mean, I always look at the competitive of the conference too. They might be putting up big numbers, but did he lead his conference in sacks?
Yeah, I believe so, because he finished second in the nation.
In sacks?
Behind Mike Green from wherever the hell he went, Marshall. Green had 17, he had 16 and a half.
Yeah, this guy's has some good ratings too. He's in the high 90 percentile on both run defense and pass rush as well. So he's fast too. He's quick, got good lateral movement.
You're not going to get a polished product at 28. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to have to take a chance on a guy at 28. And I think that dude might be worth taking a chance on.
He's slated on this site. He has slated for the 3rd round. I mean, I'm sure.
I've seen the 2nd round.
Okay. I would like to take him in the 2nd round. That's where I was thinking. But
how's this? Does he got any issues?
Okay, so I'll check his. Do you want just his weaknesses? So his frame.
Undersized, so I can.
He's undersized. He's undersized. Small hands. Lacks ideal anchor strength, which goes to size. He will occasionally get too focused on winning with finesse moves when a simple bull rush will be more effective. Despite good burst, doesn't possess elite straight line speed to consistently win purely with athleticism the next level, and still developing consistency in his hand usage and technique. So that's it. That's all they grade him as weaknesses. He's got a laundry list of strengths though. So, but I think that's why he's lower on this scale is because of his size.
Yeah. I know he's way undersized. That's my guy. That's what I like.
I mean, as long as he's got no issues.
Still the same question.
Second
what position do you think you feel the Lions need?
I can't hear you. What?
Bandit's freezing up.
I can't hear you, Bandit.
Can you hear me now?
I think you're saying what the Lions. What do you think the Lions should draft as a need for their what position they need?
Yeah,
on the D line somewhere. No question about it.
Yeah, D tackle.
Mostly edge or D tackle.
It's tough.
It
Depends
is
on what's there.
It depends on what's available at 2 versus or at 28 versus like what our 2nd round is. It's like, would you like if we got the best defensive tackle in the draft versus the 3rd best edge or vice versa, like which is more important at that time, you know?
I might take Campbell out of Alabama too. If he's sitting there at 28, the linebacker. take him.
That's
I mean,
another thing I heard.
I want another edge rusher. If
So
to
do
be
I.
honest, I'd rather take an edge rusher if it's available.
Yeah, I would too.
Let's talk
I
about
mean, if you
players.
think if you think about it, the Lions don't do anything on free agency. Okay, they don't do anything, and they still have Zadarius, working on one side, and then Aiden will come back and work the other side. I still want to have somebody to back up either one of them. That's more of a legit than what they got going on right now. I don't like Pascal. I don't think Pascal is effective at all.
No.
And they just need somebody that's going to be. They know it's going to come in there and be a wrecker.
Yeah.
On the end.
Not only that, but he's gonna learn from from guys. So he doesn't have to be. Even though Lions fans die, I think it's every fan base though. Like if you draft a guy in the first round, he better be starting. Like this guy wouldn't have to necessarily. He could be backing up both sides and just whatever side he's better at, you can put him there. And then once Smith leaves, then you insert him there. There's your future bookends.
Another waste of a free agent.
Who, Davenport?
Yeah. That wasn't a good pickup from the get-go.
No, he's always been hurt.
I think everybody seen that was going to be bad.
You do have to give props to DJ Reader, though. He didn't get injured this year, and he has in the past. So he did pretty good this year.
Knock on some wood. Don't be putting that ill out there like that.
Sorry. There we go. Is that okay?
All right, we're talking about some rookies that would come in who we think would draft. Let's talk about a player that's declined just signed a new contract and he's still on the market. So I guess not on the market because it's not official yet, but everybody talking about it. Myles Garrett, man, we talked about it a little bit last week, Chris. What would y'all give up to get Myles Garrett?
Not no damn 4 first-round draft picks.
Hell no.
Them guys were freaking nuts, man, when they were talking that crap.
Bro, that shit wild. That 4. Bro, that cripples a franchise. If one thing goes wrong in them 4 years, that cripples a franchise. You can't do 4.
Well, what's funny too, because speaking on trades and stuff like that, when the Rams were just shopping around Stafford for trades to see what his value would be, they were talking about giving up a first-round pick for Stafford. I said, "Oh hell no! I love Stafford. Stafford, my guy, but hell no, not no first-round pick. No. And it's the same thing with this guy. I know he's playing at the top of his play, but he's an older. Was he 29 now?
Yeah, I think he just turned 29.
And I mean, I give him a first-round pick, but I'm not giving him I'm just giving him a first-round pick and maybe a second or a second, early third.
Like a second swap, like a swap of a second.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't getting that for. They're gonna hang the phone up on you, bro.
I say you talking about this is one of the player, one in a million player.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Myles Garrett's got all the cards in his hand though, because all he can say is, you know what, you don't want to trade me? F you, I'm not playing this year.
Yep.
And he can, and I would back that, because if you want to be out of somewhere, and they're not meeting your demands, screw you. Especially at the player caliber that he is right now. Yeah, I would be like, dog. You can say you ain't trade me all you want, but I'm not playing for you. How about that?
Yeah, that's true.
And he can afford to sit out. The dude makes money.
Yeah.
So,
what was the running back there for Pittsburgh Steelers that did that?
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. And look how that turned out bad for him, because then he went to the Jets and screwed his whole career up. But
yeah,
he was just being greedy. That's what he was doing.
He wanted to be paid as a wide receiver and a running back. Like that was some crazy crap.
I mean, that offense was a juggernaut when he was on it at AB when he wasn't crazy.
The triple, what was it? What did they call them? The triple Bs or something like that?
Bell, Brown, and Roethlisberger. Bell, Brown, and Ben.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a nasty team at the time. That's for sure.
And they had a decent offensive line too. That's what really helped them out.
Yeah, Pouncey and them boys. But
Yep.
DaeDae, what would you have given up for Myles Garrett? What would be your top? Like the most you
Probably two first.
two first? Okay.
Yeah, probably
Ooh,
two
that's-
first because we picked low. You know what I mean? We're picking 28, 29. We hope we're picking 32 next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, our first don't have a whole lot of value, let's say, as much as like a Washington. Because who's to say they're going to be as good as they were? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this will be his sophomore year. Yeah, Jaden Daniels. And, I mean, I would probably give him a first and 2 seconds. That's what I'd give him. I wouldn't give him 2 first though.
If they asked me for two first, I'd give it to them, but that wouldn't be my offer. You know what I mean? I'd probably do with you probably a first and a couple seconds, maybe like a fourth.
Yeah.
But if they say, well, we want two firsts and like a six, I'd be like, okay, I can do that.
Well, I mean, anything that happens in the future, I mean, at least it's looking up on Detroit real well because him and Aiden Hutchins were talking, you know, during, you know, the Super Bowl time and during the Pro Bowl. So, you know, as long as they're talking, they send each other, you know, daps and stuff like that. And you know, Aiden said it would be an honor to have him on the side because they'd be wrecking deep offenses all day, which they would be number wise. But it's just, you know, I think that would be a good pairing. I mean, anybody opposite the top three that are out there that want to be traded. Well, Max Crosby hasn't officially said he want to be traded.
No, he just said he going to sign a new contract.
Hendrickson is out there too, and Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year.
Yeah, I think he's going to cost a.
He's been pretty steady too. He's been the top three. He's been top three in the last 4 years in sacks. So is Garrett, T.J. Watt, and then Hendrickson. Or either they flip T.J. Watt, Garrett, and then Henderson.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we're going to get anybody like that. Brad Holmes just doesn't go get those guys very, if at all.
He's tried though.
Yeah.
He tried for Debo. He tried for Ramsey. Come on.
They always do their due diligence.
He got C.J. Gardner Johnson's big mouth talking ass, so he.
Yeah, that was kind of a cheap deal though.
Yeah,
that was another free agent.
Yeah, no, and then he goes to Philly, plays halfway decent, wins the Super Bowl. Fuck him, bro.
He gets lucky in some of the plays because everybody else around him was good and he was just there. That's how I looked at it.
I mean,
Lions fans need to let it go, bro.
He was laying some hits this year, though. On God, like
I'm not gonna let it go until he keeps our name out his damn mouth. Talking about it was hell when he was here. Man, shut your ass up.
Man, how do you know he's not talking about because he was hurt and he couldn't play, so it was like hell? What you mean?
He said why he had to put it was hell in Detroit. He could have said, you know what, I was hurt. He's just dumb. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, no class,
he's
dumb.
A hater.
Fuck that guy. That's right. I am a hater. Fuck him. How about that? I don't need none of that negativity in my life. So the Lions let his ass go. Bye. Toodaloo.
Man, because Philly paid him the bag, bro. What the fuck? Philly paid him the bag. They gave him a nice little contract.
I mean, if you paid me a lot of money, I'd have a lot of respect for you too.
Right. And that's the other thing too. You come here and talk stuff about the Philly fans in Philadelphia, and then he goes back to that dude's so wishy-washy. He's like $2 short of AB. That's being straight too.
He ain't that.
He was one.
He was pretty bad, bro.
He was plus one. He was plus one jersey top. AB.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he ain't quit on nobody. I'll give him that much. He ain't quit on nobody.
Oh man, not AB. That's crazy. Let's talk about somebody that want to resign here, man. He want to be here. That's Kirby Joseph, man. He said he wanted to be a long time.
Sign him.
What would you sign him, Brees? What would you give him?
How old is he now? Right. Basically. Shoot, the dude's had 17 interceptions, the top safety in the league in the last 2 years. Shit. He can ask for anything. He can ask for a newborn right now. He get it.
What?
A new what?
A newborn.
Oh, okay.
Baby.
I know what you mean. I just had
I
to
don't have a
hear that.
newborn, but I
I
got
had to
a
hear it
6-year-old.
again to make sure that I heard that correctly.
Yeah, he pretty much Day is right. He pretty much has a blank check.
I pay about 20. I think top safety makes like 20-something mil. Oh my god,
I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
see.
I pay him up there as a top safety, definitely. The years is about what? How old is he now?
22 or 23, I think.
Yeah, I'd sign him for a long term too.
Right
I think.
now, Sport Track has his valuation at 17.3 million per year.
I think Kirby can get a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
I think he can. Yeah. I mean, I know they got signed Aiden Hutchinson too, so
He might get like 18, 19. You know what I mean? Which is fair.
yeah, I'd give him about that. Yeah, 19.5.
you can. I mean,
But if he gets more than that, I'm not gonna be upset. You know?
we all
Kirby-
got to remember that the cap just went up freaking $27 million. So that, I mean, that's extra money. I mean, and you know how it is. You can pay him. You can pay certain players right now and get it off the books for the future, or you can spread it over the years. Like there's so many things that you can do. Later on, extend players to save cap money. I mean, there's so many ways to manipulate the cap to get you.
Mm-hmm.
They can give him the money.
This is why I think it was pretty funny too. Just on this, they're talking about making a big splash in free agency. At least that's what DC reverberated from Brad Holmes. So I don't know what this big free whatever splash is going to be. And are you talking about draft splash? Are you talking about free agent splash, trade splash? I mean, if Brad's already not sold on getting Garrett as a trade, then I mean,
Maybe he's going after
that's
Max.
pretty much where the splash ends.
Well, maybe he goes against Max.
They said he was
Unless you go
resigning.
get
They say he was going to do a contract extension. I just heard
Well,
that.
I didn't see
Raider
that.
said that. Yeah, well, it should. I mean, he wants to be a Raider for life any damn way. So, I mean, you're that dedicated to the team that you got a damn freaking tattoo of him on you. You might as well.
Yeah, and he got businesses out there like multi-million businesses.
Yeah.
out there too.
Yeah.
So you got to take that, put that in the part. So,
but I mean, who's left out there? You got Josh Sweat. You got
Who's
Hassan Reddick.
overrated?
So
That's what's overrated.
That's what I keep trying to tell people. I
Man,
think
ain't nothing but-
the
they-
thing about
nobody
Josh
said
Sweat
that.
is that the whole line is good. So, when you have a bunch of people that are good on that defensive line, of course they're going to make everybody else better.
Yeah. That's when you have to question who's actually the good player on that. Like, are they all just really, really just really good? Not like high end, but just really good, and they just balance each other out? Or is one really good, which helps everybody else?
a lot of them played with each other in college. They all came from Georgia.
Well, that's true. And the defensive interior for Philadelphia, I get, dude, that's what's probably making the edges better because, you got to worry about what's going on with Carter.
Philly's in
And,
play for Miles. Philly's in play for Miles Garrett, right?
Yeah.
They're serious contenders. They're like making a serious push, bro.
Got to be
Commanders
scared.
are too, though.
Huh?
Commanders are too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there a lot of teams out there are trying to get him. I mean, who
It
would?
only,
You know what I'm saying?
it only takes two teams to push the market value up on the guy. So once you get a bidding war going, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, now we're starting with 3 first-round picks. Let's start from there, And then once people back off, then you go, okay, we're going to adjust it a little bit. How about a 2 and a 3? 2 1s and a 3. Then you start backing off. But
I think that's where Brad Holmes is right now. I think even last year he was probably making a bid for him too when he was trying to get Zadarius. When he got Zadarius Smith, he was trying to make a bid for Garrett as well. And Brad Holmes isn't going to part with a lot of draft picks like that. It's real hard for him to come off them draft picks, especially first round draft picks.
Because that's where he cook at in the draft, DaeDae.
and
I
that's
know that. Not always, but I know he
All right.
does.
All right.
That's why you see. That's why
Sometimes Brad's burnt the water a few times, bro. Let's be real here.
Not you just said my man burnt oodles and noodles, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why when you see him, when Brad makes trades, you notice he gets draft picks back a lot of times.
No shit.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't be surprised if he traded up the draft this year.
Oh, I'm never surprised anymore.
You know,
After
really, this draft is really not the greatest draft in the world either. There's really not a lot of good players out
running
there.
back heavy.
Yeah, yeah. Defensive ends are like on a plateau right now in this draft. I think people want
D tackle. The D tackles are better in this draft.
D tackle too. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, this is one. Obviously, if the defensive player is not there, like he's already been selected, and there's no way, and you don't, the guy at 28 is. All right, well, what we're going to have available is going to be okay. You may want to try, because even though our first round picks are going to be very, very low, we're at that spot where you got that 5th year option that is really enticing for a team that's at the top of the 2nd round that may want to trade up, and then you can back into the 2nd round, maybe pick up a 6th round pick or a 5th round pick and get one of those guys that you would have wanted that have fallen a little bit.
I just trade up just for the hell of it so you can piss off Green Bay again.
I mean, they are petty. They do get a little petty.
Yeah, they do. They do petty drafts. That some of the drafts are petty. Yeah. That's what I was alluding to before when I was talking to DaeDae about, talking to crappy ass quarterbacks like he was talking about. But it's just for show. And if any other franchise out there looks at that and says, well, if Detroit's talking to him, then maybe we should talk to him because Brad Holmes has got this track record, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, yeah, maybe we should do, and just set him up. And then they'll draft a damn quarterback and he ain't going to be crap. And he just wasted a draft pick on him. And he'd be like, damn it.
Especially if you get into the draft and Jalen Milrose is available, but you want a guy that is also there and you think another team and the other team picks the quarterback and pushes the guy down to you. So
yeah, it's really comes down to whatever franchise is playing chess and whatever franchise is playing checkers. That's where you want to jump on.
Yeah. That's definitely for sure.
All right, last topic, man. It's a little bit publicity, but Detroit Lions revoked season tickets from multiple fans. The Lions have revoked the season tickets from multiple memberships of the loyal fan. I don't know their name due to their resale of the tickets transfer actor. Well, I don't know. Chris, can you read that for me?
Okay. So the Detroit Lions revoked the season ticket memberships of 2 loyal fans, Paul Jan, and Tony Stevenson, due to their ticket resale and transfer activity deemed inconsistent with personal use. Both fans expressed shock and disappointment over the decision, especially after years of support for the team, leading them to question their future relationship with the organization. The situation has ignited discussions regarding the team's strict ticketing policy and the potential effects on fan loyalty and engagement.
By the way, a footnote to those two fans: they don't even live in the state of Michigan; they're out-of-staters.
What does that mean?
How do they get season tickets anyways? They don't live in the state.
So one of them has been one of them's attended in the last 15 years. Has attended every home game and away game for the last 15 years as well. Now, here's the caveat to this: he's had 8 seats for those 15 years. What he does is he sells a bunch of the seats so he can upgrade to the first row. So you can't question his loyalty because he's been a fan for 15 years.
He's just a hustler.
He's just a little bit of a hustler, But
A
you know what,
businessman,
though?
a businessman.
The one thing that he didn't quantify is, does he only sell to Detroit fans? Because if he does, he just sells.
That was it. That was it right there.
Okay.
He's not selling. They invest when they investigated this whole situation. They were able to track his ticket progress through whatever, how they ever do that stuff.
Mhm.
And they saw that they were getting out of towners or the other fan base in those seats. And
okay.
that ain't gonna make them happy at all.
No.
So
if it was all Lions fans, yeah. But if it's a Bear fan or a Green Bay Packer fan, hell no.
So
No, definitely not a Packer fan. Bro.
I saw a lot of reports of this, but I didn't get that question answered through any of the information. People just kept questioning. Well, oh my God, he sold all of his tickets. Yeah, but other guys would be like, well, yeah, no, but he's been to every single game, home and away. So you can't justify taking his season tickets when now mind you, the strict ticketing prices means you can't sell the majority of your seats. It doesn't matter to who. So at that point, I was like, well, what's the difference whether a Lions fan purchases it from you, Ford Field, or another person? It's still a Lions fan. And so that was my question. So if he's selling it to other team, then okay, great. That I get you. I get you there.
Yeah, I got to the meat and potatoes of that story, and I just because I asked the same question. I said, well, if he's because I saw that same information that you were talking about. He was there for 15 years, and he was at every home game and everything like that. I'm like, well, then if that was the case, then why are you mad about him selling the tickets? With his record, rest of his seats. And I was like. And when I read further down into the meat of the story, he was selling them to other out-of-towners, so meaning other opposition teams. So they didn't like that.
Yeah, I
think that's a little extreme.
I mean,
I don't like it either, but it's a little extreme, though.
You didn't pull his tickets when we were losing.
Right.
There you go.
He's been violating the policy for 15 years, and all of a sudden, on the 15th year, he decided to pull it.
And that's the only thing I think that was more extreme of the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
just do it if you can look over it when they're losing, but not when they're winning. That's.
I mean,
what they seen was how much revenue he was making off them goddamn tickets, and that's what they was getting mad about. Guaranteed.
What does it matter? Because if they're not going to get any more revenue than if they pull it, they give it to another season ticket holder. They can sell it too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not hurting anybody as far as because their tickets are already bought, so it's definitely not taking money away from the organization.
Yeah,
I think in this case, they just didn't like the fact that that he's putting other asses in seats that aren't Lions fans. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and like I said, that's extreme to me because you weren't doing that. Like Chris said, 15 years ago when the team sucked, you didn't doing that. So,
yeah, I mean, I get it now that I know the answer to the question. It gives me more reason to understand why they did it. But my objection would always be, well, you could have done that 4 or 5 years ago and saved the hassle. But those seats were probably not getting filled, so you were just happy that the guy sold the tickets.
That's where it was at. That's the whole point right there. See, now that they know that he was doing that with the other fans coming into the building, and there's so many people lined up to get those season tickets now.
Yeah,
at that price that they're selling them for, is okay. Well, we're going to get somebody in there that's loyal, and they're going to pay attention to what the rules are with these tickets because they did up the rules the last 2 years about how you sell your tickets and stuff like that. So to that detriment, but at the same time, why would you? No, I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to give you 8 seats, so 7 of them can be filled with opposition fans. Hell no. You're going to put Lions asses in them seats if you're going to do that, and so that's what happened.
You know what?
Somebody wants them.
No, I mean, there's like the post that I saw on Facebook. I always look at the comments because. I get a lot of entertainment value out of people like post crap, but there's a ton of guys on there that are like, well, now maybe I can get a season ticket. It's like, dude, that's like 6 seats, like 7 seats. 8 seats total. Like unless you're the next person in line, you ain't getting it.
Right.
And more than likely, you're not going to be able to attend every single game. And guess what you're going to do? They're going to sell the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to violate the policy. So, I can guarantee you at least half of the season ticket holders at least have sold a couple of tickets. But yeah, no, I mean, I get it now. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, I think that a mitigation factor would have been like, dude, you can't have 8 seats anymore. Pick 2.
Yep, take 2. That's it.
Yep, take 2 tickets. Pick the 2 seats you want. We'll let you keep those 2, and then you're good. That's what they
like any business, money talks, bullshit walks. So he probably came up there with cash, or he had that money in his bank. He's like, hey, psst, bam, I got it right now. Give me 8 seats.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, money. And that was 15 years ago. So they were trying to get anybody in their asses in those seats. So
what would be cool though is like you get grandfathered into those seats. I wish they would do something like that. You can make the policy strict, but have a grandfather clause into that. Like, hey, I've been attending for so many years. I should be able to get a discount off this. And they already do. Mind you, they give you a discount off the seats for when you buy them. But I think it should be more. I think you should get a little bit more of a discount over a certain period of time just because you've been loyal that long. But they don't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Megan Stefanski been a season ticket holder for her whole life through her dad.
Mm-hmm.
She may not be able to go to any away games because, I mean, they're upping her they're like doubling the price of her tickets. I mean,
and that's bad because she's the fan of the year for the Lions. So I would definitely be giving her discounts.
Yeah. So she's paying, what is it? She's paying an additional $14,000 for the year for her two seats because of that or something like that. It's something freaking crazy. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to push the purists right out the window. And the guys like me, I ain't never going to go to a Lions game until they reduce the prices. You ain't going to see me go to a Lions game. Not going to pay for it. Huh?
No, I'm just playing.
But yeah,
I won't pay those prices.
I'll go to an away game first because I'll get a better price. I don't have a problem with that, but I ain't going to go a home game. I'm not going to find a lower bowl seat for $300 anymore like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. So, the Lions front office has got to do what the Lions front office do. They own a fucking automotive company. So they obviously know a little bit about what they're doing with their money. So
No, you're right. It is a business. What are you going to do about it? I get that.
It's just making it so for the average real fans can't go, basically.
Yeah. It's kind of like the whole country right now. Trying to do things that pretty soon we're going to be real poor. We're not going to be able to afford the OR poor.
I'm going to live off the land. Man.
Yeah. Go get lost in the mountains.
Yeah.
Be Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
Find me a big bear for a pet.
I'm going to build me a log cabin.
Right. Get me some chickens so I can have eggs in the morning.
Yeah.
Go out there and hunt and get my bow and arrow on a hunt.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody coming on tonight, man. I appreciate it. 236 people, man. Sorry for my service.
You don't want to talk about Detroit Pistons?
Man,
I can't talk any basketball. I didn't even watch the game, but I figured
it was bad. The game was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. I looked at the stat. I saw that Cade was like 3 for like 20 or something.
He had 11
that.
points. Yeah.
I heard. I was out like wheeling and dealing, trying to get like another case for my sports stuff, and all of a sudden, as I come back into the chat, the score popped up like 135 to like 110, and I was like, "That's all I heard." What'd you say, DaeDae?
Nothing.
Yeah, you said something.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Man.
Go green.
I think they just didn't come off that. They came off that high that they had when they beat Boston
By
So,
20.
by 20, and so I think they just were wore out at that point.
But you know what though?
Boston's a bunch of frauds, anyways. They blew a 22-point lead.
Here you go.
Fucking soft ass, fucking Tatum.
Man.
30 hit like 30 something in the first half. Or
Better than
something.
Atlanta Hawks.
I'm not a Hawks fan.
So
I
now,
just had good basketball, and Boston doesn't play good basketball. They just shoot threes all day long.
yeah, you're right.
That's all Boston does. So I'll shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Bang bang.
If they're off, you can
That's what the whole league has turned into anyway. 3-point shooting clinic. That's about it.
Blame Steph Curry.
Why do you think like halftime leads of 30 points just evaporate in the second half?
Yeah.
Even if you go back to the early 2000s, if you had a 30-point lead at half, game was over. Like it was a done deal. But now, man, because both teams are so dependent on threes, you just shoot yourself out of the lead. Like you sitting there bricking everything, the other team gets hot, and now it's a regular game again. It's terrible.
When the Pistons played the Celtics showed that they got in there. They had I think that in the first half the Pistons had like a 12-point lead, and then Boston couldn't miss a 3-pointer if it came out and hit them in the eye. They couldn't miss a 3-pointer, and then they tied the game up at halftime.
Yep.
But then in the third quarter, they were banging everything off the damn glass. So that's where they lost the game.
That's the same thing that happened.
Detroit kept going in the paint.
That's how Boston lost today. It was up 25-5 against Cleveland, and let Cleveland come back and win that game.
Sometimes
like 8 or some shit. Y'all by like 8. Yeah.
How many points did Cleveland score in the paint?
I don't know. Tatum had 44 points, and they still lost the game or some shit like that.
46. Yeah, 46.
46.
I know that's how the Pistons beat Boston. When Boston started going cold at the 3-point line, they were just driving in the lane and scoring in the paint. I think they were outscoring. I think at the half, what was it? Third quarter, they were outscoring them like 42-19 in the paint. That just tells you right there they're dependent on the 3-pointer. The Pistons were just going down in the paint and scoring. And, okay, you miss a 3-pointer, and we're going to score 2. So you're going to have to hit more 3-pointers. That's
why I don't get like in the second half when the other team ends up like starting to brick, get cold. Most of them go right back to still shooting threes. Like, hey, we're gonna out. If you just go to the easier shots, the mid-range jumper, the dunks, like do a little post play, like start getting a few, because you put in like a bunch of like 2-pointers and they're missing their threes. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
It adds up.
Yeah, it does. But most teams know they're just like, I'm gonna go back down. We're gonna shoot threes. Like that's not how you. If you have the lead, that's how you go small ball and you play a post game and you keep buckets. You throwing down buckets, easier buckets, better opportunities, and you're keeping that lead.
If you're out there and you're hitting every 3-pointer and you're blowing out the other team, and when the second half comes around, just start working in the paint. Don't even worry about 3-pointers at that point, because then you just keep pressure on them. They're going to start hitting 3-pointers. I mean, that's just simple basketball rule 101. You know what I'm saying?
It is, because people are like, well, if they start making their threes, like they're going to hit 3 points for every 2. Yeah, but you're so far up. It's going to take them forever, and they're not going to make them all. They're eventually going to go cold. So, and the higher percentage shot is going to work in your favor at this point, because you're up by so many points.
Basically, the moral of the story is Boston is soft. They're trash. So,
what'd you say? You think basketball soft?
No, he said the Boston Celtics is, yeah.
Oh, he's got to just bring
Denver won that game because they were hitting 57%, and that wasn't field goal percentage. That was just field goal percentage that they hit, 57%. Yeah. They were killing the Pistons. And that's another thing in the NBA. No defense anymore. And the Pistons are just
Denver fucking lockdown defense tonight.
Yeah.
Beasley couldn't get an open shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither could Cade.
No.
11 points for Cade is a bad game for him.
And 10 of them came in the
This
third
year.
quarter, and then he never scored
Yeah.
again.
I mean, we got to give it up to the Pistons, man. Just the turnaround with
8 in a row. Yeah, 8 in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's just it's amazing. I mean, it's given. I mean, now we've got all 4 teams. Our team sports is actually doing well. You know, like so it's really refreshing to see something like this again. I mean,
They got that grit.
yeah, I mean that I would love for us to make to like the 4 seed for the Pistons, but I mean, just making the playoffs without having to be involved in the play-in tournament would be great.
Yeah.
I think if we played the Knicks, we might actually be able to like get a couple of games from them. I mean, we beat them before this year, I do believe, right?
Yeah, all time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think Boston.
Eastern Conference, besides maybe Cleveland and Boston, even though Boston is soft, but Cleveland's playing really good basketball.
They're trash. Boston's trash. They're frauds, bro.
But Cleveland's playing good basketball, and those are the 2 top teams. So, I mean, the Eastern Conference is wide open. They're pretty much.
Yeah. It'd be cool, though. It's going to be nice to see playoff basketball in Detroit.
I love the Pistons' way of playing basketball, too, because they're getting gritty. They're they're not playing bad boy basketball because, you can't do that anymore. But they're playing as rough a basketball as you possibly can play in this NBA. So I like that. I like that style.
How did Duran play? I mean, I know he's been really playing well lately, but how did he play today?
Not well. He was in foul trouble. He was in foul trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the bigs were in foul trouble.
Oh, they were taking it to him.
Okay.
They were taking it to their ass.
Like Duran had 3 fouls in like 4 minutes.
I guess
we ain't gonna be the 9th victim. Hell no.
I guess they took it personal when Detroit was favored by 1.5. They're like, hell no.
I try to leave in the show on a good note, and y'all wanted to talk about the loss. I didn't want to do that.
You knew I was going to
cover everything.
You know I can't stand Boston. You know I can't stand Boston. You know I can't.
I'm with you on that with DaeDae. I hate Boston.
Listen. I mean, it's just like DaeDae said earlier. You had, like, even if you have bad things, AK Brad Holmes has a bad, right? You gotta criticize it. So you can't just gloss over the Pistons because they lost. You gotta cover it. They didn't do well, just like we did the Red Wings. They played a horrible game last night. So you just gotta cover them. You gotta give it all up. I mean, we sucked today in basketball, and
pretty much both teams didn't have focus. That's why they lost. Both of them were just playing blasé games, and that's why they lost. They're not bad teams. They didn't have their head in the game in either one of those. So.
I think the loss for the Pistons right now is perfect because you don't. I mean, you want to get a couple of losses. You got to be brought back down to earth, kind of gather yourself back and say, hey, listen, we got to get back to basics. Let's go back, work on our fundamentals. Freaking get the ball rolling again, and let's see if we can get another, winning streak going. You don't want to be on such a high note for so long because a lot of times that could kill you entering the playoffs.
I have a problem with that.
I know you don't, but I don't like it. It gives me this eerie feeling when we get that. Goodness gracious, DaeDae.
When the smoke was clearing over the divisional, divisional playoff game with Washington, and when the smoke was starting to clear, there's people, coming out here trying to be 2020 all of a sudden. They're like, yeah, well, maybe they should have lost in Minnesota, so they had to play on the road.
No.
How about Goff not go out there and just, give the Commanders a game? How about that? I mean, it happens. Goff is still a great quarterback to me. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league. But you have a bad game. He had it at a bad time. I mean, I don't know what you can say.
Yep.
Terrible time to have that.
Terrible time.
There was so many
curse, bro. That is the curse, man. That is the curse. I keep trying to tell you that motherfucker's still alive.
So listen, there's so many other
it's curse.
There's a lot of other things that are at factor here too. I mean, when was the last time we had a bye week?
Week like 5 or some shit.
Oh shit!
So
Oh, we had a bye
week,
week before then, though. We had 2 weeks before the divisional game.
correct. That's the problem.
Wait, 1 week. Wait, 1 week.
I thought it was
Oh,
1
1
week
week.
too.
Yeah, 1 week. Yeah.
That was part of the problem, is because golf is really big on timing. And what do they do every week? They're always practicing. They're always going through the regimen. They get a bye week, and it's not like a bye week in season. It's like time off.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have never had that before. So nobody could ever dictate like, okay, well, this is what you do through the middle of a bye week before you go. They don't know anything about that. I think that threw them off. Now, would I want to have lost that game to play? No, absolutely not. You just got to learn from that. So next year, if you do get a first round bye, now you know how to deal with that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Pretty soon, though, that learning experience is going to get exhausting, and nobody's going to want to be bothered with that. Okay, so we lost in the division round we lost in the conference final that year. Now we losing the division final when we had a 15-2 record and number 1 seed in the NFC. Something ain't right about this whole situation. How can we fold it in the second half in the conference final, and then golf comes in there and plays like Trent Dilfer in his bad day? You know what I'm saying? I was like, dude.
Well, people are going to get tired of excuses, but they're legit. Yeah. They're legit possibilities. I mean, if this team had a bye week in the playoffs like the last 3 years, I would have been like, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work for me. But they haven't.
I mean, that's a simplicity answer too. I mean, because you think about it, Dan Campbell in general, he has these guys ready to play. He always does.
I blame Ben Johnson.
And I think it was a whole point. And I think a lot of things that were going on during that first week, the first week after they won against Minnesota, was the problem, because they had coaches talking to everybody, coordinators talking to everybody about being a coach, which they should never do until after the playoffs.
Yep.
Period.
I don't like that. I don't like that either. You got to wait till the Super Bowl's over with to go and go and go and.
It's AG's fault more than it's Ben Johnson's fault. You don't know how to play defense out there.
What?
Anything to
I don't know, but Ben Johnson's a dickhead. I think he's showing his true colors when he gets off of this team. That's what it is. But I mean, he said that Penei Sewell throws a better ball than Jared Goff.
I think he
don't.
He was just fucking around right there.
You shouldn't be fucking around. Worry about your own damn team, you sorry ass Chicago.
I don't care what he says when he's in Chicago now. That's just fuel for freaking Dan Campbell to say, hey, listen, look at this crap. Like, let's just roll him when we go into our next.
He's about to have Penei Sewell come out and throw like a.
And if he does, I will laugh my freaking ass off.
30-yard pass to J-Mo, and he takes it fucking 60 yards to the house.
It'd be funny if Goff ran for a 40-yard rushing touchdown.
There we go.
Oh, that would be really hilarious, because that dude can't run worth shit.
Baby giraffe on the run, gone.
Like watching somebody run in slow motion.
Man, gone.
Hey, my boy caught a touchdown pass though.
You feel me? They jump in the crowd, but he did. You know what I mean? And he got hands too. You feel me?
If I see anybody throw a pretty good ass pass for a non-quarterback, that was Montgomery. Montgomery threw that nice little pass.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
That was a beautiful pass. He threw that right over the corners too. I mean, that was perfectly placed. I was like, damn. Oh, better than Goff. Maybe put him out there instead of and mine's talking shit like, I was a quarter. I can throw this ball too.
Y'all gonna leave my dude Goff alone? Like everybody just better get throw the ball at him. That's crazy.
Oh, I got no problem with Goff. Goff is who Goff is, man. He's just not a mobile quarterback.
He's Goff in the regular season. He's goof in the postseason, bro.
Well, he wasn't last year. This year he was. Last year he played pretty damn well.
I think Goff was concussed, to be honest with you.
I think he was too. I think after he took that one hit.
I think after
that pick six, yeah.
He went in to be checked and came back out too quick. And they were like, yeah, he's good. and he's probably like, yeah, I could see both of JMO's.
I mean,
How many fingers am I holding up? 20. I see 20.
Not close enough.
he could have put Henry Hooker in there.
Wow, they put Teddy B in there. That's why we're taking
Teddy
Jalen Miller out,
B
bro.
got him a touchdown. Got him down there to get a touchdown. So I would have left him in there. I'm sorry. Goff would just had to sit this one out. I'd be like, hey, Goff, you know what? I can't take a chance.
I don't know about that.
No, hey. It was looking bad at that point anyway. That pick, the fumbling when you're on your own 20-yard line or within the red zone, and you could score and put your team up 14-3 because that's what it would have been at the time. And he fumbled that, and then Washington just took it the other way and scored.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you throw a pick six to get knocked the fuck out at the same time. You're basically it's pretty much let's go to the backup real quick. They still put up 31 points. A majority of that was from Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously, but they still put up 31 points.
Yeah.
He had a bad day. Just let it go.
Yeah, he did have a bad day. He had a bad
There's
day.
your boy AG. He had a bad day on defense.
Oh my God, here we go with this AG talk. He gone, bro. Let him go.
Yeah, and he's about to do wonders for New York.
I'm telling you, that dude is a man.
Yeah, he's going to make a good head coach. I think he's going to be a better head coach than Ben Johnson.
I think he is too. Absolutely.
All y'all jumping on the AG train. Is that what I'm hearing?
I said head coach.
Head coach. Terrible DC. Good head coach.
Yeah.
I think Shepard's going to be a better DC than he was.
I give you that. I do give you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think AG is going to have a better, like, I'm not saying the front office is great in the Jets, but I think he's going to have a little bit more leniency than freaking Ben Johnson is in Chicago. Like, I mean, I would not be shocked in 3 years if he's already out of Chicago and they've got a new coach in there. Like, that's how much I trust Chicago's front office.
Mm-hmm. I mean, AG's front office ain't that good either. But
No,
I will tell you what, they're letting him make a lot of decisions, and that Aaron Rodgers decision was directly on him. He's like, look, dude, we ain't going to no dark places. Bring your ass to camp. You can't bring your ass to camp. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
He said we ain't going no dark.
AG said we ain't doing that. I don't like your ass anyway.
No, nobody will probably say anything, but you earn a lot of respect in a locker room when you do something like that. Now, you're going to tick off a bunch of his buddies. Oh, well, you still want to work because we trade. We can trade you a release.
Get your ass out of here too. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, he's doing what Dan Campbell did when he got here. You don't want to play? Yeah. That's all there is to it. You don't want to conform and try to win games, and you don't need to be here. And that's the same approach AG is taking.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, if they give him the latitude, he's going to put together a good team.
You see his presser when he was introduced. It sounds just like Dan Campbell. I was like, God damn!
I heard a little bit of it.
Exactly like his ass.
Yeah, they actually put statements from when he had his presser, like a few statements that were similar. Yeah, I mean, that's paying homage to Dan Campbell versus Ben Johnson trying to poke the bear. It's like
he's poking all kinds of bears.
All kinds of bears.
he done already pissed off Green Bay. Oh yeah, we beat you twice last year. No, that wasn't with Chicago, dumbass. That was with Detroit. You're in Chicago now.
No, maybe he should have waited one more year.
I'm just waiting for him to piss off Minnesota next. That's what I'm waiting for him to do. Say something smart about Minnesota.
He already did.
I know he is. What'd he say?
He said he liked playing Minnesota twice a year. That was one of his first press conferences. He said something about Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, they're about to go 0-17.
Damn.
They're about to go 0-17.
I told y'all, man, I didn't like this motherfucker, man. The whole time he was here, I was saying he was the problem. No, nobody wanted to
tell you true, man. I think Dan Campbell appreciated Ben Johnson as a coordinator. I don't think he particularly liked him as a person. I think if you ever noticed that he talked a lot more about AG than he talked about Ben Johnson over his 4 years.
Yeah.
Here.
And you
So
know what's
far.
funny
He's
is a
done
lot
that.
of people take silence as positivity. Like, oh, that's not always positive. If you don't have nothing nice to say, you don't say it at all, right?
Say nothing. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
I'm pretty particularly he's pissed off about that damn playoff game too. I mean, the thing that pissed me off from the get-go with Ben Johnson was that why are you starting Monty? Put Gibbs in there. Don't put Monty in there immediately like that. Let him get there in goal line situations or third down and shorts or something like this. Keep it simple for him right now. He just came off a bad injury.
Yeah.
Well, mediocre bad injury.
Yeah.
And you're going to put him in to start the game? That's why they went 3 and out. I mean, what did they go 3-4 and out, something like that? Yeah. That's dumb. I said, come on,
those
man.
first
You know
two
better than that.
After those first 2 carries, I was like, yeah, I don't ever want to see him at all the rest of the game. Like, but
and then Jameer comes out there and just runs all the way down. I'm like, damn. Duh.
And then he didn't run with them at all in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't run with
dude
them.
had
Well, by that time.
The dude had like 14 carries for like 104 yards in the first half. Didn't see it.
It's like 7.5 yards per carry. That dude was getting a first down every 2 downs, you know?
Like, exactly. Like, I really do. I mean, they'll come back and there'll be a dual back set or there'll be, but I think Gibbs needs to be like, I think it needs to be like 3/4 of the carries need to be him, 1/4 freaking David Montgomery. I mean, they probably won't do it, but
60-40.
I think they do need to do a lot of dual running backs because really, I mean, at both of their games, at the top of both of their games, who the fuck are you going to stop? If you got 2 running backs back there, who are you going to focus on?
Yeah.
You still got Amon St. Brown on one, and you got Laporte on. You got plenty of weapons out there. You don't even know where it's going to go.
Yep.
And you can throw the offensive lineman too. So what the fuck?
I mean, you could hand it off to freaking David Montgomery, and you can throw it to Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, like at the end of the day, it could still happen. I mean, come on.
The offense hasn't been tapped out yet, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I think Ben Johnson, like I believe he just lost the Bucks game because he was trying to be an experimental guinea pig of some sorts. He's out there making Jared Goff for 55 damn times. Dude, fucking run! What the hell? But
end of the day, it's still fuck Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
all right, man.
wow.
I'm with you on that one, bro.
Appreciate it. 269 people that's watching, man.
Leaving Ezekiel Turner on Ty Johnson for 3/4 of the game. What are we doing, AG? Come on, bro.
Oh my God, bro. Let it go, bro.
He had to play. He had to play who he had, dude. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, bro.
He didn't have shit. I think AG did a good job with the defense.
There's 57 players missing on defense. I don't even want to hear about it, bro. Like, dang.
I mean, he focused on 2 things: third down defense and red zone defense. That's what he focused on. You can throw for 500 yards as long as you don't fucking score. I don't give a damn.
You're right. I'll give you that.
Because the stats
but
tell you that
Washington was still scoring, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He tried to
they
play,
did stop him
he
twice.
Tried to play Jaden Daniels. He tried to play Jaden Daniels like he played Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? Just blitz him, go after him. You know what I mean?
I think
and play man
I think the whole
outside.
game was precedented on the fact that the offense needed to win that game. The offense has been the one putting up the points in every one of the games to save the defense, save the Minnesota game, but still they had to depend on that offense to win these games. Because the defense, we already know what they were coming in the games with the defense. Defense was battered. They didn't have anybody playing. It wasn't put. I mean, Washington's defense was worse. But I'm just saying, they just stopped them twice. Stop them twice, and then the Lions couldn't kick couldn't kick. No punting. You got to go through that game without punting. And the first fucking thing they do is punt. I said, there it is.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Whichever defense got lucky is the team that won. That's like you make a couple of plays in the game, and that's the difference. Like that's how it was. I mean,
made Sanistril a damn name, didn't it? Dude had 2 interceptions in that game. I was like, look at this Michigan guy coming back and picking off.
Oh my God, bro.
Right. Coming back to Detroit and fucking up the home team's playoff.
Right.
Like, bruh. Come on, dog.
You know, his ass was geeked after that game. Too bad that didn't transition over to Philadelphia where they got their ass kicked, but
Cooked them.
All right. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Detroit Fan Report, and follow us on X. DaeDae, let them.
What Bandit was trying to say is DaeDae. Let him know where you're at.
Oh.
I'm mic in my hand.
Well,
still
I guess
can't
he's
hear
got
you.
his mic in his hand. Apparently, that's what he said. You can find me right here, man. Right here on Detroit Fan Report, bro. Right here.
Chris.
You can find me on X at Crazy Hockey Fan. You can also find me on Instagram at One Nation or One Pride Nation _24. You can also find me on me and Keegan at 9:00 on Thursdays just winging it, talking Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Be Skrilla, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
So starting a new show on the Huddle Sports Channel. One ass cheek and 3 toes. It's been going on, but we kind of just
What is going on, man?
big. So we're working kinks out. But anyway, and then I'm on everybody's show. Really, I come on here. You know, Bandit will ask me to come on here. I'm gonna come on here. If anybody else wants me to come on their show, I'll come on their show too. Yeah. Shoot the shit, whatever. Talk some sports. Get her done.
Is that really your name of your show? One Ass
Yep.
Cheek?
One ass cheek, 3 toes.
Okay, that's awesome. I love it. I just wanted to know if that was just your handle or if that was your show.
That was our show. That's our show. Yeah.
That's cool.
Give Dan the credit there.
What's your screensaver for that? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, it's like our logo, and then it has Dan Campbell with his, you know, how he'd be laughing and having those grins on the sideline sometimes. Yeah, you got a little mug shot of him with that grin on there. But the intro to our show is pretty decent. It starts out, you know, when they're, you know, he said that at the beginning when he started coaching the team, and he was in the room talking about what they need to be doing, grit and all that shit. And I got a slice of him saying that, you know, doesn't matter if they got 1 ass cheek or 3 toes, we'll kick your ass.
I thought he was about to say it was Dan Campbell biting the ass cheek at first. I'm about to say,
Not biting ass cheeks.
I'm
Damn.
about to say that's crazy. Here we
That's
go.
kneecaps, man.
That's Ohio State for you.
Man, here we go, man. I'm pretty sure y'all hit the subscribe button, man. What did I say, man?
Hey,
What?
Faded.
Oh, Chris, let them know what they do when we hit the subscribe
oh
button.
my God, man. Dude.
Bandit ain't want to do shit. Bandit wants to go.
Yeah, I know we got. Okay,
So
so
faded.
if we hit 500 subscribers, we're gonna give away a jersey. It could be a Red Wing, Pistons, Tigers, or Detroit Lions jersey. So like and subscribe.
Lamar out there to get you, man. He said, you
Man,
ain't sent a
you
link.
sent a
Some
link.
guys didn't come my way.
Come my way.
Lamar calling your ass out,
He
man.
asked you at the beginning of the show if you
I
could.
put it up there, Wade. That's one of the first things I did. What are you talking about?
Maybe he can't click it from there.
That
He wants you to send him the link.
ain't my fault. I ain't do that. I sent it. Put it right there in the chat. Oh.
No, he wants you to physically send it to him.
I did.
On my phone, see? He wants to physically send it to him.
Ugh.
I'm always the bad guy.
Be like McConaughey in that submarine. Do your job, sailor.
DaeDae. What's up there, man? This is Detroit Fan Report. Thank y'all for watching Detroit. What up, y'all? We out. Peace.